We are making a pasta salad for the first time. So yes, today is my first time making a pasta salad. And basically what I am doing is, right now I have water that is trying to get it to a boil right now before I add the pasta. So today I have rotoni pasta. And since it's gonna be a salad and this is for one person, I'm only going to use half of this box of pasta, especially since we're going to be adding other ingredients because it's a pasta salad. So out of the 16 ounces, I'm only going to be using 8 ounces, and then everything else is basically going to be off of my thoughts of how much of everything. And yeah, I have a candle going on here and I'm aware, but that's more because I was just studying, and so I realized, oh, I'm on a study break. But then I'm like, it's 3:30 p.m. I'm about to be hungry. I'd rather cook now than eat and have eating be like my break, even though I want a break now. So that's what we're doing here today. I'm still putting stuff away from my dishwasher because I did have the dishes go this morning while I was studying. And fun fact today, in my complex last night, well, today, it was at midnight, okay? I get woken up by loud knocking on my door, and then next thing I hear is people running down the halls with like a loud thump. And it turns out those people knocked down my trash can, and either knocked down my trash can or my neighbor's, and then one of our trash cans were on the other side of the hallway. I'm continuously checking to see if the water's boiling, and so that was interesting. And the reason why our trash cans are outside is because our complex is we pay for valid trash. We can't get out of it. I've tried, and it's around $12 to $15 per month. So it's like, might as well use it. So I had my trash out for them to take it, for the workers to take my trash because it has to be in the trash can. Thankfully my trash was taken, so when this happened, the trash cans were empty. So no trash was scattered in the hallway. But it was interesting to see a trash can all the way on the other side of the hallway. And I thought my neighbor already took his trash can in, so I took the one that was literally laying across my door, in front of my door, just to find out that he's texting our complex group chat of like, did someone just take my trash can? And so then I went and like found the other trash can across the hall and like gave it to him. So that was an experience. Also, who does ding dong ditching in college if you're not a freshman? Because I feel like it's a very like first year type of thing to do. Like in a complex, like in the dorms, I feel like it makes more sense because you're surrounded by college students. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to continue taking out my items here. So we got a few plates. I think today I'm going to use a bowl. So I do have a bowl that's been like freshly cleaned. So we're going to put this off to the side. I'm going to use that for today. So yeah. And then I'm trying to get everything that goes in this cupboard out. And then some things are still a little bit wet, so we're just going to wipe them off to make sure there's nothing moisture or anything. Because apparently some units have been talking about a large increase of like insects like spiders and silverfish, so I'm making sure nothing is damp when I am putting it into storage. So I'm organizing. I like to use these glasses for like apple juice or orange juice. Personally, orange juice, I'm not typically an apple juice person, which is funny because I used to not drink orange juice, but then we got really good orange juice one time and I just continuously buy it. And so this is like a few days of dishes because I clean the dishes like daily, but I won't turn on clean, like rinse them out and put them in the dishwasher, but I'll only put on the dishwasher when it's full. So there's still a few more dishes, but these are all the things that go in this cabinet here, so I'm going to do that first. These dishes I actually got from like puddings that I bought at Costco, and I just decided to keep them because it's like, you already pay for it, why throw it away? Of course, it's like, it adds up, but I only got them, the puddings, like one time, so I only have 4 of those cups. So yeah. Okay, we have to close up the dishwasher and open up this area to place everything. It's all very strategic here. It has to go in a certain way. It has to be placed. Oh, the bottom of this is still wet, so we're gonna wipe that down. Okay. So as I'm doing this, I am keeping mind of the pot of water that I'm having boiled here. But I'm also making sure I'm doing other things. So like for, while that's going on, and like for storage purposes, I'll put these tiny cups into these larger cups. Because that's just how much room I have here. So yeah. And then I have my copper cup that's going to be placed. Okay. Ooh, I still have 4 dishes, 2 dishes somewhere, which I have no idea where they are because they're missing from there. Interesting. Are they here? No. All right, but we're gonna grab the last things in the dishwasher. These are my containers. I've recently got glass containers, which is really good because now I'm able to take my food that I make here and take it to school or work with me, which has helped a lot because there's some days where I'm on campus for hours on hours on hours and I'm not able to come back. So this just really helps with not purchasing so much fast food or meals while I'm on campus or at work. Helps keep the costs down. So I highly recommend that. It also helps with meal prepping. Haven't done meal prepping just because that takes a bit of time. So I also then have to plan out all the meals, and at the moment I'm just going based off what I have. So yeah. This also helps me keep my food fresh of whatever I made, because now I'm able to properly put it in the refrigerator. Where I used to, I was checking if I had any questions, that's why I got close. Where I used to literally just put on a plate and like saran wrap the plate with plastic, and that wasn't the best. But this keeps the food really fresh. Recently, I like made some pasta, and I put it in my refrigerator, and it lasts me much longer. So that's good. Less food wasted. And then these containers, I also stack them. Because there is not. That had a lot of water in it. This container got flipped in the process, so it did have a lot of water. We have to put those back. We're going to quickly close that. It did not leak. Good. This towel I'm using to like wash the dishes that have been damped. So we're going to put that in an area where it won't get dirty. But there is none, so that's okay. We gotta put these containers back. So we'll do that. The water still is not at a boil, so we'll use this to wipe down any water that got here. Okay. I'm gonna put these containers away. Okay, that was simple. And now we have to take out the ingredients for the salad. So we need onions, tomatoes, peppers, our spices, olive oil, which olive oil and red wine vinegar I might add once we have the pasta, because I don't know if that will be good. So we'll make the bottom, we'll cut up our vegetables for now. So let me see. We have peppers. We need to grab our tomatoes. And then I have to see what's in the bottom because I'm trying to use all things here. Let me see what other peppers we have. And then we'll use a little bit more peppers. I thought we had cucumbers, but we don't, so it's fine. We'll use what we have. Oh, and an onion. Onions over here. And I'll pull my trash can closer so we can put away the scraps right away. Okay. So first thing I'm gonna do is cut my onion. Just because it's the most, it doesn't have to be washed, we just have to peel the skin so it won't put like a lot of water onto the cutting board, which means I'll like do the tomatoes last. Something to do to get the skin off of the onion quickly. It's like cutting a little bit off the end. And then we just go around peeling. Should have cut off a little bit more, but that's fine. Still get the job done. And we're only going to do half of an onion. And I'm using a yellow onion. Some people use red onions. If you want a sweet onion, go right ahead. It's just based off of preference. And then the same with if you want peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers. Some people put olives. We're also going to put in feta, but we're going to do that at the end. Something. Okay. And then there's just a little bit here, so we're just going to cut that off. There we go. Clean off our onion here. There we go. Okay. And now we're just going to cut the onion in half. And I'm actually going to get a dish that just got washed to place this onion, to place it in the refrigerator, to use it the other half for a different time. There we go. Just going to take one of the halves, put it in there for another usage because I'm just not going to use the whole thing. And this was a small onion. So that's the thing. You don't have to use a whole onion if you don't need to. And that goes with anything. So now the way I cut my onions, we're going to put it on one half. We're just going to cut it 2 times down the middle, not all the way through. So we'll do it one more time. You don't want to cut it all the way through. If you do, it's fine. This just will help with dicing it. And now, once again, we're going to do a few lines on the side of the onion. We're not going to cut it all the way through as well. And this will just help with dicing the onions to a certain size. Once again, I'm just a college student in her fourth year of undergraduate studies, sharing some food tips. Okay, and now we'll reposition the onion and just cut all the way through. And we have diced onions. Sometimes you may have to go through and cut them again, depending on what size you want your onions to be. Ooh, our water's at a boil, so I'm going to take a pause here, pour in approximately half of the box of pasta. I don't really have a way to measuring this. I'm just gonna pour it until I feel like that's half of the box. So. We're gonna do a little bit more. And then I'm gonna put this into a Ziploc bag going to add some salt to the pasta. Let's see, what's the put? It says to do like a pinch of salt. It really says to taste. So we're just going to do a little bit. That's a little bit, and we'll stir that. And then we'll set a timer for 12 minutes, and every 2 minutes we're going to stir the pasta so the pasta doesn't stick to the bottom. We're also going to keep an eye to make sure the water doesn't overboil. And now I'm going to grab a Ziploc bag to put the remaining of the pasta in. And we just finished a bag of this, so we're just going to break it down to make it easily fit into the trash can. Just going to fold it a few ways here. And then we'll just stuff it into the trash can. We'll put the pasta in here. I'm gonna put it with the box so then I know how long this type of pasta takes to cook and how much water. I did put in only half of the water. It says to put in 4 quarts. I only put in 2 because I was making half of the pasta. So now we have this for next time, probably later this week or next week. And yeah. And now, while the pasta is cooking, every 2 minutes we'll stir it. It will be cooking for 12 minutes according to the box, and we'll resume cutting our vegetables here. How is everybody's day going? Since this is live, we could chat in real time. If you're watching the live after it's already gone live, so you're just watching the recording, feel free to put in your comments as well of how's your day going. Also, has anyone tried a pasta salad before, like making it yourself or just eating it? And what were your thoughts if you have? We're gonna cut as close as we can to this core of the onion. Okay. And now I'm just gonna go through and make sure everything is like not too large of a onion. I'm just gonna make sure. I like to have them small because it's easier, and sometimes if you have people who don't like onions, you could like put them to where they're barely noticeable size, because onions are actually really healthy for you. Sometimes like they take out all the toxins and all that jazz. So in my household, we love onions. Sometimes I didn't even know they were in the meals I was eating. My mom just makes meals and you eat it. If you don't, well, then you have to make yourself a meal. So yeah. Okay. We're just once I finish cutting up an item, I'm just putting it straight into our bowl that we're gonna mix all the items in because it just makes it easier. But yeah. If you've made pasta salad before, what type of noodles do you use to make it? Okay. Today, as I showed earlier, I believe the box is Rotoni noodles, and they're the smaller versions. I know sometimes there could be larger versions, and it's, what else? It's just the original one. Whatever I got off of the Publix shelf. I also got it when it was on sale, so I got it for a deal. Not sure for how much, but yeah. Right now I'm shopping a lot on deals, so it helps. It was either buy one, get one free, or it was on a discount for a lower price. Either way. Okay, so now we're gonna cut up some peppers. I'll probably do 6 in total. We'll do 3 of each color, so 2 red, 2 orange, and 2 yellow. Oh, we gotta stir this pasta. It's been 3 minutes, not 2. Oops, my bad. So we'll just stir it around. There we go. You want to stir your pasta so it doesn't stick to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need 2 orange. So, orange. And then we'll put these straight into the refrigerator for now. also got those peppers on sale. It was buy one and get the other one free, so I find that as a deal. Felt like that was a good deal because originally it was like a weird price for one. Like weird, I mean too large of a price, but then I was like, for the price of two, that seems reasonable to me. So I'm just going to cut up these ends of where there's like a little stick here. Just going to place that. We're going to open up the trash can, just quickly toss them in there. It's like something poking out here. Whatever doesn't seem appetizing to me, I just quickly toss that away. Because if it's not appetizing to me, well then I'm not gonna eat it later. So, it's like a little black speck here. So yeah. Ooh, you guys, it turned the pasta. Ooh, it splashed all over me too quickly to put spatula in a pot. There we go. I think we have to cut off one more here. Oh, no, two. There we go. Now we could dice these peppers. I go through and just cut it down the line here. Oh, this one got moldy actually, so that one we'll have to grab another yellow pepper. Because it got moldy in the middle, I just threw away the whole pepper. This pepper's still good. Cut these into bites, tiny bite size. I do have to sharpen my knives, but they work for now. Okay, we are probably gonna grab another yellow pepper since we had to toss one out. Okay, but we'll do that once we're done cutting all these other peppers. See, how's this one looking? It looks good. Okay. Don't want the seeds, so cutting around the seeds. Hello to those joining us in the live stream. How are you doing? How's your Sunday going? What are you making for lunch or dinner? Okay, around 4 more peppers to cut up. Oh, that has too many seeds attached to the sides. Feel free to use the live chat function here, where you could comment in real time. Is there anyone new? If like, what I mean by that is this the first video you see of me, first live stream you're joining in on this channel? Feel free to comment that as well. I might do another red as well, just because those were tiny ones. Let's see. We'll see how much this looks. Scooping out the seeds, you don't want those. Personal preference, that is. We gotta stir this again. The good thing is that the pasta will be done first, so then it'll have time to cool down before we add it to the bowl to mix it in. So then it won't cook the other ingredients. It's down to the minute marker on the timer. We have 40 seconds on that, so we have time to probably cut this orange pepper up. Oh, turn that off, turn you off. We'll give this a quick stir. We're gonna move the trash can out of my way. We're gonna grab, this is actually probably done. We're gonna grab a sifter because I don't have a cauldron. Oops. We're gonna use this to catch the pasta. Ooh, I might need another person, but I don't have that option. Okay, we're gonna move this over here. Gonna turn y'all around so you see this. I just realized this pot is bad because I don't really have a handle to grab the pot. So we're gonna have to do it this way and use the countertop as a support. There we go. Taking the water out. Okay, we're just gonna put this back in the pot for now. This is going into the dishwasher since it touched pasta. We're gonna put this back under the stove fan, but on a different burner, just so the steam goes there. So yeah. Okay. We're gonna resume cutting up these peppers. Probably put in another yellow and maybe a smaller red. So it looks like orange is dominating the bowl here. So I'll grab a few more peppers. We're going to take it from this bag because I want like a medium size red and a larger yellow to make it more even. We honestly might actually just add the yellow pepper because we still have tomatoes. So that's what we'll do. And then once we add the tomatoes, we'll see if we need some more red pepper. And so again, I'm just going to cut off this end if we're like a tiny thing. I just don't seem like, there we go, we're cut. Okay, I believe we can turn off the fan for now. Don't have to be as loud now. Okay, I cut this up. Separate the outside from the seeds. Just dice it up in a way. Yeah, need a sharper knife, that's for sure. Okay, got our peppers, onions, and then we'll cut up our tomatoes. And so I'm just doing a full box container of, how many ounces are in here? A pint. Cool. 16 ounces, I guess, of tomatoes. Giving me difficulty to open the container. Okay, we're just gonna wash them and then cut them into halves, and then we'll see if those are too big. If anything, we'll cut it into fourths. Check to make sure these tomatoes are good. They are. So I'm going to cut these tomatoes into fourths just because they're quite large. In fact, some of them may even be cut to eighths. So I didn't cut through all the way. But like, see, this one will probably just be cut into fourths because it's tinier. But these are some large tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. They're large for their type of tomato. I think they're either cherry or grape tomatoes. One of the two. Yeah, so this will give us the red coloring in our pasta salad here. Ooh, this one broke. No, it's still good. Okay, we are just going to cut them into fourths because it'll make it easier. Otherwise, it's making too much of a tomato juice mess here. I guess it depends on each tomato. Okay. Do y'all like the cooking videos? Put it in the comments. If so, I'll make more when I cook. Recently, I just been doing quick cooking videos on TikTok Live. So yeah. Cutting them into 6 seems like to be the good proportional size for these. When they cut properly, that is. Or cutting them on a diagonal for fourths also seems to be somewhat good size as well. might have been too many tomatoes now that I see that. Oh well. Okay. Gonna wipe down this thing because there's so many tomato juices here. Just gonna wipe it right down to the sink to make it less messy for me. Okay. Cleaned off the cutting board. This, we'll put these stuff back in the refrigerator while I take out the feta. Okay. In the meantime, we're gonna add our pasta to this. Nice. Still a little bit of pasta. Okay. Since it was just pasta and water, we're just going to quickly put this into the dishwasher so that I don't have to think about it and it's just there ready to go for the next round. Okay. We're gonna let this pasta steam off a little bit as we cut up the block of feta. I'm actually not gonna use the whole thing because I feel like it would just be too much for me. So I'm gonna grab another container to put 4 ounces of this 8-ounce block of feta. Cut down the middle, or cut off the side here. I'm gonna do this over the sink so any juices could just go down the sink. Okay. I'm gonna rip this open. Cut it open. Get this block of feta out. We'll cut it down the middle here. I'm using the same knife because it's fine. If you want to use a different knife, that's also okay. But we'll close that. In the meantime, we're just gonna cut up this block of feta. Hello, Evans Ukulele. I just seen your messages. You said hello, how are you? And then a smiley face. We're doing pretty good. This time I've decided to cook before I got hungry. So I'm not hangry at the moment, but I'm very close. Right now I'm starting to feel the hunger building. But how are you doing? Also, thank you for joining in the live stream and commenting as well. We're cutting the block of feta into pieces of tiny blocks of feta blocks that I just like to have in my pasta salad, not too large. Just a good size of the tiny feta blocks. Alright, we're gonna stack this, make it slightly easier to cut it. Wonder if Evans Ukulele is still in the live chat, because I've answered your comments, but I have not seen a response just yet. At least on my end of the live stream. Okay. We're gonna add the feta to our pasta salad, and then we'll add our seasoning. Then we'll shake it up, and then we'll place it into a bowl and consume our pasta salad, or I guess my pasta salad. And if you're making this at home, then you'll consume your own. Have not discovered the feature of where you could pass food through a screen yet. I feel like that'll be actually quite scary now that I'm thinking about that. So, but we'll see with technology. Now this has, due to the cheese on the cutting board, you should wash your cutting board afterwards. Otherwise, you're just going to have cheese everywhere, and that may potentially attract insects. Okay, gonna leave my cutting board how it is. Gonna wash my hands real quick. And now add the seasoning. We have another person, Season for Everything, who just comment, what are you cooking? Let me put this away and then I'll answer your question. All right, so here we have assembled a pasta salad. We have cooked rotoni noodles. They've just been boiled and cooked. At the bottom, we have some onions, red pepper, yellow pepper, orange pepper. You could also add green pepper. You could add cucumbers. We added tomatoes. I wish I had cucumbers. You could even add broccoli. That might be good, or sprouts, or no, what is this? Not sure. But now we're gonna add some olive oil. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of red wine vinegar. You wanna have more olive oil than red wine vinegar, personally. We're just gonna do a little bit here. I always say start off with a little bit because you can always add. And then a little bit of red wine vinegar. Ooh, maybe a little bit too much, but that's okay. Gonna do a little bit more olive oil here. There we go. Gonna have to start getting some more olive oil. And then we're gonna do probably 2 teaspoons of salt. But we put salt in our pasta, so we're actually only going to do 1 salt teaspoon for now. Like I said, we're gonna slightly measure, slightly go based off my knowledge of cooking. We're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of red pepper, just a tiny bit. I'm gonna do an eyeball of oregano. How much oregano you desire. And then eyeball of parsley and basil. And then we'll shake it up and we'll test it and we'll see if we need to add more. This is basically an experiment and we're seeing how it will turn out. And now we're gonna put our lid, or you could take a spatula and stir this. We're gonna take a lid, secure it. And now for the fun part of shaking. Pasta salad. Now we will take a utensil to try our pasta salad here. Tastes delicious. I don't think we need to add any more. I do think it's a little bit salty, but that's okay. Because I am the only person that's going to be eating this, I'm going to use the same utensil and just scrape it in. if you have other people eating it, don't use the utensil that you tried to scrape in your, for the test, to scrape in your food. We're gonna search down the bottom here for some items, different variety that was not on the surface. There we go. It might be actually easier to stir this with a utensil, but yeah. We have our pasta salad. We're gonna close this container, move it to the refrigerator, and then eat the pasta salad. Maybe have it paired with a drink of like apple juice or something, or whatever you want. And if you make this pasta salad yourself and you enjoy it, be sure to put that in the comments below. If you did not, then how can we change the pasta salad to make it like really good, you know? All right. Anyways, I'm Olivia Ritt, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.